Hi guys, today we are going to look at how to find a GCF, or a greatest common factor of two or more numbers. Now we're going to start with the definition, and I want you to remember that you need to write down everything you see on this page in your spiral notebook. These will be the notes that you've taken on this topic. And those notes may be used in your quiz on Friday. So let's start with the definition. The definition of the GCF is the biggest, because it's the greatest, number that will divide into two or more numbers evenly. Okay, it's the biggest number that will divide into two or more numbers evenly. If you need a little bit more time to copy that down, remember you can always pause the video. I'm going to teach you two methods for finding the greatest common factor. We're going to start with the list method first. In the list method, we simply take the two numbers, we simply take the two numbers that we are looking at, or three numbers, and we make a list of all of their factors. So we're going to use for our example the numbers 24 and 30. So let's list all of the factors of 24. So we know that you can use either the rainbow method or the table method that we've talked about previously. We know that 1 times 24 and 2 times 12 and 3 times 8 and 4 times 6. All of those will get me 24. Then when we go to do the number 30, we know it's 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. And we've now got all the factors for both 24 and 30. Now to determine which one is the greatest common factor, we need to look at all of our factor choices. So let's start with trying to find all of the factors they have in common. So they share a common factor of 1, a common factor of 2, a common factor of 3, a common factor of 6. And you notice that they don't share any other factors. So the GCF, or the greatest common factor, the biggest one that they share in common is 6. That's it. The biggest reason that kids make mistakes on the list method is that they leave out some of their factors. So make sure you are really getting a very good, strong list of numbers that is all inclusive of everything. All right, the second method I'm going to show you, and I'm going to do it with the same numbers so you can see, is called the Sled Method. In the Sled Method, we still have those same two numbers, 24 and 30, but I'm going to sit them on a sled. And then I'm going to start looking for factors that they share in common. So I know that 24 and 30 are both even, which means that 2 is a factor. 2 goes into 24 12 times and into 30 15 times. Now I take a look at the two new numbers I have and see if they share anything in common. Well, 12 and 15 have a common factor of 3. 3 goes into both of them evenly. So 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 3 goes into 15 5 times. Now I take a look, and 4 and 5 do not have any common factors other than the number 1, so I know I'm finished with the actual math manipulation. Now I got to figure out what the GCF is. Please, please, please remember that the GCF is on the left. So remember that GCF is on the left. And what I mean by that is this. We look at all the factors that we pulled out, the ones that are sitting on the left, and we simply multiply them together to get our GCF. So our GCF in this case will be 2 times 3, which equals 6. So it doesn't matter which method you use, you should always end up with the same value. Let's take a look at a couple of extra examples. And remember, if you need a little bit more time to take your notes down, you can always pause this video. All right, under the you try problems here, let's take a look and see if we can find a few of them. I'm going to use both methods, but I'm going to start this first one. I'm going to use the list method. So for 16, I know I have a 1 and a 16, a 2 and an 8, and I have a 4. For 72, I know I have 1 and 72, 2 and 36, 3, and I got to think about that one. 3 goes in twice, and 4, 24. I've got a 4. I'm going to run out of space, but 4, and that goes in 1, 8. So 4 and 18. No 5, but 6 goes in. 6 goes into there 12 times. And I know that 8 goes in 9 times. So here's all of our factors. So let's see if we can match them up. I've got a 1 and a 1, a 2 and a 2, a 4 and a 4, an 8 and an 8. And since that's the biggest number I have, my GCF will be 8. All right, let's use the sled method for the second problem here. So I'm going to take 90 and 75 and put them on a sled. Since they end in 0s and 5s, I know a 5 will go in. And 5 goes into 90, 18 times, and 5 goes into 75, 15 times. They seem to share a factor of 3. 3 goes into 18 6 times. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 and 6 share no other common factors at this point. So I'm going to take the GCF is on the left. 5 times 3 equals 15. And that's our GCF. And the last set, I happen to really like the sled method, so that's the one I'm going to stick with. You can use either method that works for you. So 54 and 18. They're both even because they both end in even numbers. So I'm going to divide by 2. And I'm going to get 27 and 9. And I know that 9 goes into both of these. So I can divide 9 into 27 3 times and 9 into 9 once. Again, 3 and 1 only share a common factor of 1, so I know I'm done. And I can pull my GCF is on the left. GCF will equal 2 times 9, which is 18. All right, I hope you guys have the GCF down. We will have another video tomorrow on the LCM.